Okay, we're just gonna test the audio here. Give me 1 second. Hello. All right, we're good. Okay. We are going to be discussing Greek Religion by Walter Burkert. Oh. Audio of myself is still on. All right, let's pull up the text for everybody. If my window capture will behave. And oh, it's not visible. Ooh, giant. Let's fix that. Booyah-hoo-sha. Or who? Whatever it is I normally say. I'm going to turn down my volume. I feel like I'm spiking a lot. Make that nice and big for everyone. All right. And where is our text for Walter Burkert? Everything's out of order. That's all right. So we're also going to put on some music here. Make sure we have some tunes for everyone. While we wait for people to jump in the VC. I hope everyone in the chat is having a great day. Let's see who's here. Oh, where's my chat page? There it is. Hello, Astrid. Oh, Sin's here. The sound from the... I was waiting. Well, I wasn't waiting. I was setting everything up while I let people pop in. How are you doing? I am doing okay. My text went wonky and disappeared, and apparently now it's in all white, so no one could see it. I told you I had problems with, There we go. Everyone can see it now. Greek Religion by Walter Burkert. Alright, are you going to come on, Are you guys ready to come on stream? Sorry, my brain died. It's going to be audio only. Sin Dionysus. Can you guys hear me? Oh, hello. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure everyone's ready before I turn on camera, video. We're not going to be doing video though, Sin. I can see you in your glorious fabulousness. Yes. All right. Let me make sure this audio is okay. Hold on. Okay, I think that should work so that the music is softer than you guys. So now, can one of you guys say something so I can see if the audio spikes?
Speaking.
Very creative there.
Let's see.
Communication. Verbal oration.
Oh, okay. My output for you guys is at its highest. So,
Vocabulation.
Oh, I'm turning the wrong dial. That's probably why. You guys want to try that again?
Transmission of thought.
There you go, just open up the thesaurus.
Alright.
My mind is a thesaurus.
It is. Let me see. Not speaking but present. How's the sound? We need the sound to be checked. Sovereign Lady. Alright. While that happens, why don't... Brilliant. Thank you. And if you can check somewhere in, like, in the mid... Like, while we're chatting, so that... I want to hear if they sound really soft. You know. So... Sin, I'll pass it to you. Dionysus, are you going to be chatting on the book club as well?
I may have some things to input.
Okay. Well, feel free to mute and unmute yourself as fit, as you see fit.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, that was the reason I was asking. Would you like to introduce yourself?
There's nothing really interesting about me.
Well, how long have you been a member on the server?
Me?
Yeah.
Are
you recent?
Very.
I was wondering because of like, I like the. Did you just volunteer for something though?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. You just came in, you're like, I'm gonna volunteer. Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, welcome. Thank you. Sorry, say again?
I've got books upon books upon books. I need to use them for something.
Brilliant. Do you have Greek Religion by Walter Burkert then?
That may be in the library, not sure.
Okay. Well, we have it in the pins in our Discord book club section. So if anyone is listening to this, and yourself as well, you can just go grab that for book club. If you'd like.
Seems like a good listen.
Sin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. I am Sinwin, the editor of written works here at the Hellenic Herald, as well as a community liaison for the Astaria Citadel, a partnered server for pagans of all walks.
Brilliant. And of course, everyone knows our amazing Most Sovereign Lady, Astrid, who is not only a server mod, but also a mod on our Twitch channel. Thank you. And yeah, so all right, we're doing Greek Religion by Walter Burkert. Let me make sure. Wait, where's my notes? Do I have two of these open? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Where am I in the text? Not far enough. There we go. And my notes. And yeah, if you're not aware, if this is the first book club you're joining, we actually have a whole giant document of notes that we need to that we have that have the notes from, or rather things that we found interesting, as well as notes from the previous book clubs, so you can always catch up. And if you're confused, that's okay. I wrote the notes, so I understand. So
I'll fix them eventually.
Let me pull the server back up because I realized that I read too much earlier. So we were going to be doing this week chapter 4, The Dead, Heroes, and Chthonic Gods, section 3 and 4. So I kind of went straight to 4 and 5, so we got to go back to 3. There we go. The Olympian and Chthonic. So the reason we are starting here is because this is where we left off. So, oh, I have a shake. That's right. I was like, I'm thirsty. So this is where we left off back in 2022 by previous year. And that I figured it would be a good place to start off because it's kind of like a refresher as well. All right. And so we are starting off at the Olympian and Chthonic gods. And that is on page 283. You guys probably can't see that, but I'm just highlighting it. So anyone who wants to jump to it can jump to it. And let me come back to the actual stream chat that I'm in. Okay, so going over our notes. Let me make it larger so I can freaking see them. And did anyone get a chance to take a look, to read on the chapter or take a look at the notes if you're catching up?
If I say no, will you hate me?
I won't.
Oh, good.
Look, in college, half the time I got through my English courses, by the way, I was an English minor, was just going to my friend who was an English major and being like, hey, give me the 30-second elevator pitch of what the hell we were supposed to read last night. And she would, and I would kill it. I would kill it in class. She would hate it. She's like, I don't know how you do it. You're just, and she's like, it's not even that you're bullshitting. It actually makes sense. And I was like, I'm really good at doing this. So don't worry. Even when I was supposed to read, I barely did it.
I with the amount of work that I've been doing lately on a million different fronts, I'm not worried. I would just hope that you can understand.
I very much understand. All right, so we were going through, and we kind of. I don't want you guys to read the notes while I'm talking about it. We kind of made a little chart here of the differences. I'm sorry. Not the differences. What the cult of the dead versus the cult of the gods had so much in common. Like the patterns of the rituals, the psychological functions, the social functions, obviously, because like half of Hellenism is social functions. And fixed places of worship, sacred meals. That's pretty, like, those three are all pretty understandable. That's in like everything, in pretty much every holiday. As well as they had animal sacrifices, fire, food offerings, libations, and prayers. So we can kind of see a lot of where pretty much any festival or worship could be added to this, obviously. But then there's also the psychological functions of it, which is very interesting to me. I don't think we went too far into that last time, though. But there's also a lot of differences between how the Olympians are seen and worshipped, as opposed to ways the chthonic gods are worshipped. And I'm just gonna be a jerk and call on you guys and be like, can you name some things that you think? This is gonna be our little Jeopardy, book club Jeopardy. What ways can you think of that you can worship the chthonic versus the Oronic deities? First one hit the buzzer wins. Second one is also winning.
Of course, his name was
my
Friday.
thought would be. Sorry, what?
I didn't hear you, Dionysus.
Nah, I was just making a reference to something.
Oh. Alright.
Ah, okay. No worries. I make random references in my sleep, always. Anyway, all the time. I breathe random references. But what is not random is my response. So,
It's not?
I would imagine that when dealing with more abstract versus concrete concepts in spirit, ways that we can worship, revere, or simply celebrate these concepts would be reflective of those levels of concreteness or abstractness. You know, so for instance, if you have, you know, the chthonic deity of you know, the soil itself, you know, someone who is associated with life in the soil.
I misrepresented the question. What ways do you think the cults of the Olympians versus the chthonic deities would do as part of their worship for those deities? There we go. Like the differences between the Oronic and the Olympian. Yeah, based off of like what you think would be in the text. Sorry, that was my bad.
Right, got it. Okay, so not theology, history. Okay. Probably a lot of agriculture focus, given that all of, ancient civilization is built on agriculture, versus civic sorts of, reverences. Instead of the concept of the law as a principle, perhaps the ancients were much more centered on harvests, on, good weather, that sort of thing. That's my thought.
I'm not gonna say no because that is actually a valid answer, though it's not on the list.
Oh dear. I always bring novel ideas to a world.
I know.
Thirsty minds.
We need
Yes,
we
that's
need
why
more.
I'm here.
We need more.
Of me? Yes, I agree.
More concrete things.
More concrete. Okay, something more concrete.
Okay,
Then I
let's
would
go.
have to
Let's go with
say-
this. Hold on. How do you think
Yes.
people, or probably women, would tie or untie or decorate or style, whatever the fuck, their hair? Like ponytails or decorations or shaving or I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Updos. There was a lot of updos in history.
I suppose, and if you're saying to differentiate between them, I would have to say, well, I'm sitting here wearing a veil, even though the audience cannot see. I wonder if the veil is something that is not as earthly, something that sort of separates the body and thus the hair as a representation of it from it. I wonder if more or less chthonic, forms of reverence would involve heavier clothing in a sense of separating yourself from
Okay, someone's
versus
never played
light.
Jeopardy before. Okay, hold on. You were going on a really good conversational tangent, but that's not in the text.
That's what I do.
I know. I
Okay,
know.
well,
I'm sorry.
you
I
are-
have to be the
okay,
host
I'm
occasionally.
going to give you a little. Yes, I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. When you're asking an open question, you're going to get an open set of answers.
Okay. Sorry.
No
dying.
worries. I don't mind. Go ahead, scold me. It's fine. Sin, you bad girl. Stop coming up with random ideas.
I muted myself on stream because I was dying coughing. So, you were right in the beginning. Things like veils and things like garlands, decorative hair things or decorative head things, although maybe religiously tied, however pretty, were often used in rituals for the Oronic, and sorry, it specifically says the Olympians, so I'm just going to continue with that one, not just Oronic.
The up ones. The up ones, not the down ones.
Yeah, we're specifically, although they are Oronic deities, the Olympians are separated because we do have some chthonic deities in them, is my understanding, as opposed to all Oronic deities. So the chthonic versus rituals and things done for the Olympian gods, they wore festival attire, and they put things like garlands and decorative items in their hair, made their hair look really nice, right? That was a big thing in a lot of ancient societies, hair. For the chthonic, they did not wear any fancy festival attire. It was very much grunge, if you will, as well as their hair was untied. So very messy, very not prettified. I don't know how to... If you watch the Netflix series The School of Good versus Evil, you will understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but by the end of the series, you will understand what I'm saying. Sin, have you watched that yet?
Of course not.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna have to make you go watch it because I'll show you the clip later because then you'll understand it. If you want a spoiler.
I may not watch it.
Okay,
Go
that's
on.
okay. I was trying to make an in reference, an outer reference, but so I'm gonna name a few of the other differences, and here's a. No one's gonna get this. I'm just gonna say it. Libations. There was a special word for libations that were for subterranean powers, and that is called. You're gonna hate me. Choai. Heavens help us. I'm gonna spell it on stream. It's CHOAI. I'm so sorry.
Hoi? Hoi?
Why?
The CH usually refers to a ch. He.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like we have one.
Why don't they just write it in Greek script?
I know. They should do both. They should do both. I know my Greek is crap. It is crap. It is. And I'm thinking maybe I'll actually try and listen to some because I speak Armenian. Like, I can say these words. I just don't know how to say them. I am gonna go on with a couple of other, that's what I was saying. I'm gonna go on and list a couple of other things, the differences between how the Olympian cults versus the Chthonic cults differed greatly. So the theme for the Olympians is exaltation. to raise high up, to be of higher power, if we will, for those of higher power, versus the Chthonic, which is more of despondency. So everything is like, I'm just gonna go with grunge. I said grunge earlier, so we're gonna go with that. The altars were different. Usually altars for Olympians, if we think of what was used to celebrate Zeus and Hera and Artemis and Athena and everyone. Temples, right? These beautiful things built above the ground, which, as Sin mentioned, was a big separator of the two. And that's basically... I'm drinking a smoothie, so... I already have chia seeds down my throat, so henceforth the coughing and the
sympathize.
Right, I'm trying to be healthy, everybody.
Hail Dionysos.
Hail Dionysos. Hail Apollo.
Your body may be healthy, my spirit shall be healthy. Glory to Dionysos. Now continue.
Woo. So yeah, we're gonna call, like, basically, if you want to think of it as the crust of the earth is the line in the sand. Technically, that would also include a line in the sand. So, altars and places for worshiping the Olympians are all above ground, right? And the places that they would worship the Chthonic gods were usually places of burial. They were pits. They would be like... Here's a perfect one here. Family shrines were consecrated in a sacred house. Oh man, it's Greek again, you guys. It's O-I-K-O-S. You want to take a stab at it, Sin?
O-I-K-O-S? Like, O-I-K-O-S? Oikos?
Oikos?
Like house?
Yes, it's a sacred house. It's a sacred house. Mysteries also took...
Oikos, yeah.
Yeah. So mysteries also took place in a house. Yeah. And apparently there's a citation to this in the text because it says 6. As well as an offering pit may have a round building, a tholos. That one was easy. Tholos. That's tholos. Okay. Look, I'm not terrible at all of it. It's just they're mussing me up on purpose. They know. Even though they were around thousands of years before I existed.
I mean, it's okay. It was close enough. We will give it to you.
Tholos.
Continue, though.
Oh, I love close enough. Can have a round building built around it, and sacrifice. Okay, so sacrifice tend to be poured out to these gods, libations, and those are called spondai. I feel like it's more like spondai. Spondai? Spondi? I don't know. S-P-O-N-D-A-I. Now it's not like Jeopardy. It's like
Wait.
Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of.
Okay, well you just wrote it IA, Spondia.
Oh, sorry.
I
No.
don't know if you
That was
typed
no.
it as
That
well.
was me.
Oh dear.
That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me.
That's okay. We forgive you.
Let me see if I can. I don't know if that work pace. Oh my gosh. Y'all, cause here we go. Libations for the subterranean powers were called Choi, and this spot. There we go. Poured it. Yep. There. See. But the other thing here you can actually see right here, to sacrifice to the gods is to consecrate, harrow, all these vocabulary words. These are all vocabulary words you're going to have to filter out, Sin. Really consecrate, and in particular to fumigate. They are burning these things and the smoke rises to the sky, as opposed to right here where you see Spondi. These our libations are poured on the earth. Above. So above is so below. That's another reference to that show. Someone's gonna watch this and they're just gonna type in
a reference.
Haha.
As above, so is below is a very common witchcraft line.
They look. They just pulled it out of their ass for this show.
Arabic
Oh wait, no, that
alchemy.
wasn't that show. That was a different show. I've watched too many series on Netflix. Apparently,
it's funny enough a mistranslation, but we don't have to get into that. So continue.
Let's see. Festivals for the Olympians were usually done before sunrise, as opposed to at sunset. That was really cool. Let's see, sacrifices. Yes, they're evening or night. Actually, I think this whole section here is like literally doing this, and here's a section about the hair. And it's literally I love this. I love this so much because we cannot get through one fucking chapter without some sort of like juxtaposition. It's like my new favorite word. It's almost freaking impossible, and I love it because they just throw it in right here. How amazingly different are each of the deities? How completely unique they are. So there's my little rant on juxtaposition. Why? Because we're gonna get to it in the next segment too. So the chthonic deities, it's not just those who were only in charge of the dead who belong to the earth. Let's see here if I can find it. It's here it is. It's not only the dead who belong to the earth. There are also chthonic gods, admittedly. These gods are mentioned with misgiving and usually only by way of illusion. So here they go into not only the ruler Hades, of course, but of course the Titans themselves are part of the chthonic deities, and because of course they're supposedly kept in Tartarus. That falls under Hades' domain. We also... There's the... Yeah, here we go. There's the chthonic mysteries that surround Dionysus in regards to the myth where he is son of Persephone. Hecate, of course, is part of the deities. Hermes has to be because he escorts souls to the underworld. I thought there was somebody else who escorted souls to the underworld. Am I wrong about this? Does anyone know anything? Because I swear I heard about somebody else doing it too.
In the Hellenic perspective, I don't know. In the Hellenic mythos, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm still looking that up. I don't know.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't even know what to look for. So I can't remember her name. Find a better way to Google it. I always just kind of also wait because in case people in chat. So, all right, let me see here.
Yeah, we're waiting for you to save us, chat.
Yeah.
Save us from our own ignorance. We need it.
It may be something to do with Charon.
Something to do with what?
Oh, Charon. Caron, the boat, the boat.
Oh,
tour
the ferryman.
of and the river. Yeah, the ferry. Thank you.
But he doesn't go get people, right? There's like an entrance, right? What is the entrance called?
Yeah, well, I guess.
Like, where do you go?
the
Where's
entrance
your
is called an
line?
Elm tree.
Huh?
Let's see.
Like, where do you go if you're telling the spiritual cabbie where to drop you off? What is that called?
Let's see. Apparently, what is this? I don't know. I happened to just come across something about the Laconian Gulf from the Messenian Gulf in the west. There was a cave network there, apparently believed to be an entrance to Hades, a gate to the underworld.
Oh, that tracks. What's the myth where the
There's
guy
like
has
it's
to
just
go
some
down to
particular
fucking
place.
Hades to get his girlfriend?
I was reading just
Your mic is super soft, Dionysus.
Yeah. Sorry, Denise. You have your microphone is so hard to hear right now. Maybe speak a little closer or turn it up.
You can turn it up inside Discord too. Can you try again? Oh.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes I need to look into it.
Okay. Do you want to put it in the
No
VC
worries.
text chat and then we can read it?
Yeah.
Cool. I was gonna say something and I forgot.
Oh no.
What?
You're squirrely brained.
I
My
know.
presence is corrupting you.
Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, those are all the ones that was listed. And of course Persephone, to Queen of the Underworld. And so they say in here the opposition between the realm of the gods and the realm of the dead was worked out. The gods are immortals. There's another vocabulary word. Just throwing some more vocabulary out there. While
to answer your question very quickly, while you are throwing vocabulary that I can correct for you, as
Thank
usual. The story of Orpheus and
Thank you.
Eurydice.
yes, that's what I was
Eurydice
asking.
Is decay? Did I say decay? I'm sorry, decay. Yeah.
The caves.
Just yeah. So now, what is the vocabulary you want me to pronounce correctly?
Oh
Or as
man.
correctly as my silly mouth can?
Hold on. I'm just gonna Google it so
You
you
got
can see it
this.
on stream, so you can see the page. It's page 286.
Oh, good.
It is the first new
Athanatos?
paragraph.
Athanatos?
Yeah. That. So it the epithet itself becomes a definition. Oh, I see. So epithet, it means immortals. I got it. So it also, the epithet of being immortal becomes the definition of what they are. And
Oh, obviously, because if Thanatos is death, then a Thanatos is a death or undying. Yes.
sorry, shake. And
All right. Cheers.
woo, drink. Chug, chug, chug. You can't chug a
Yes,
shake.
absolutely. A very sweet and innocent drink. You all can understand. I am simply going for the ambrosia for this.
Yes. Let's see. That's pretty much it, just highlighting over those strong contrasts. I basically, in the notes, separated the two. So, that's section 3. Moving on to section 4. Ooh, looking very timely. 6:30, yes. Good on us. This one might be longer. Okay, so we start here. The existence of a class of heroes or demigods between gods and men is a peculiarity of Greek mythology and religion for which there are very few parallels. The etymology of heroes is unclear. In the Greek word, it appears in two senses, both in the early epic art, which refers to all heroes whose fame and the bards sing, and the word that is firmly embedded in the formulaic system, particularly all the Homeric figures are heroes, particularly the Achaeans, etc. So it not only symbolizes a type of character, but also the heroes that came before them. So, art imitates life, imitates art. Ah! My window disappeared. I hope it did not disappear on stream.
Well, I don't know, I guess, if there's any lag. If there
No,
lag,
it didn't. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, good.
I just gotta bring back my other things now. All of my windows disappeared. So then we jump down to the second paragraph, which is the outward cultic aspect, which can be apprehended quite clearly from the archaeological remains. Sorry, can be apprehended. A cult hero involves setting apart one particular grave, known as the Herun, from other burials by marking off a special precinct, by bringing sacrifices, votive gifts, occasionally by building a special grave monument. These monuments on a grand scale appear at only in the peripheral areas. So there's only specific sections or places where these monuments are really grand monuments, and there was actually local heroes were usually honored within like a certain area. And actually it goes on to say that in a weird way, as if they have like a radius of control. So it's quite interesting. Let's see. And there are larger hero cults, which were such as the cult. They were listing the other cults. The cult of Agamemnon in Mycenae. Oh goodness! Here, it's right here in the text. Who wants to read that, please? You can either listen to me butcher it, or you can butcher it.
What exactly are you having trouble with?
Just read the sentence.
Okay. Let me just do it in here. So it would be, at which time there was a cult of Agamemnon in Mycenae, and also in Sparta, a cult of Menelaus and of Helen in Sparta, and a cult of the Seven against Thebes at Eleusis.
There we go. See? Much better than listening to me try to say all the things.
Are you kidding? Oh, the content gold of hearing you stumble over these words.
I know. So hero graves were honored with a cult. Hero graves that are honored with a cult are traceable from the last quarter to the 8th quarter century. So we actually have a really nice timeline, which was mentioned somewhere in here. I just lost track of it. So moving on from 289 to 290, the worship of heroes from the 8th century onward was derived directly from the influence of flourishing epic poetry. So it became more of this grandiose thing. Funeral games for noble lords were replaced by institutionalized agons of sanctuaries in honor of heroes nominated for the purpose. Like it became so big and so important, and it became so well known from like all this epic poetry and the bards and this judgment ensues. Not really. Yeah. I mean, but it's the judgment of society that they would much rather have these things to these heroes, these visions of hope and honor and justice, and a way that any man, any person can stand up and fight and maybe win, right? As opposed to that motherfucker who keeps taking my shit because of taxes. Like, one inspires good feelings and one leads to a revolt. All right, well, maybe let's give up the money for funeral graves and all that. Like, occasionally whenever one dies. So yeah, it replaced all those, and they're, you know, tearing down statues of assholes. So judgment ensues. Yes, Astrid. Thoughts?
Thoughts can there be? Just that the drama of political science goes throughout all of history. You can't escape it. I don't know what more thoughts you can have in such with such information.
No worries. I just want to make sure it's not the Victoria show. That's all. Inviting.
Oh, V. Ever since I began to join these, don't worry. It is not only you taking the spotlight.
Fantastic. All right, so moving on to page 291. Here we go, as we were talking about institutionalized. There we go, if you're looking for it. Hand in hand with the rise of the hero, the rise of the hero cult goes. We'd be analyzing and talking about shit all night. I know, Astrid. Hand in hand with the rise of the hero cult goes a resurrecting and spiritual life. Yes. Once again, under the influence of Homer, this is expressed in a radical separation of the realm of the gods and from the realm of the dead. Just like we talked about the Olympian versus the chthonic. And once again, now we have a new separation of from the alive. There's a middle ground now. Now here's another race, but they weren't, but they were different, but they're I don't know, pocket tribe. Yes, I feel like none of them got together a lot. So tribe without a tribe.
Class?
Yeah, that's it, like a class. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I've literally been watching an anime about different demon classes lately. Jeez Louise.
You just need a little bit more time with me to develop greater class consciousness.
Yes.
Now continue.
Let's see. So, we know Homer loves to do that. And, where is this? The controversy. Here we go. The controversy as to whether heroes are to be regarded as fated gods or as real people, right? Through cultic. I'm gonna die coughing again. Sorry, 1 second. I gotta mute myself on stream.
While V mutes herself, I take control. Right. Anyway.
I was drinking. Thank you. Gracious.
You're very welcome, dear.
I was like, I'm gonna cough. Let me take a drink, and then you start pulling shit. Oh my gosh. So it becomes weird as to like, are they divine? Are they better than humans, or are they people that proceeded to have just a really, really special life, right? And so they're saying this can be perhaps settled by a formula that satisfies both parties. If the concept and cult form were established only at a relatively late date towards the end of the 8th century amid the forces of aristocratic cult of the dead, the claims of Polis and the Homeric epic then this does not exclude the reception of a very ancient traditions in a new complex. Unmistakably, mythical figures lie behind a number of epic heroes, right? So and so did something crazy awesome. I saw it. And if you've ever played Telephone in your life, the game Telephone, which is one person has a phrase, they say it to one person, they whisper it in their ear, and then it goes around to like 10 or however people, and it goes back to the person who said it, and it's usually something completely different. I give to you the OG game of Telephone. Bards. So they became more and more epic as time went along, as each story was told.
There is a little bit more than just Telephone though when it comes to bards, because the trick of storytelling is to shape the story based on the audience you're telling it to make it actually connect into the listeners. So there was certainly some purposeful alterations as well.
They fucked it up on purpose just to make the game more interesting. I'm talking about the game of Telephone.
Say modified. Well, yeah, but in Telephone, the rule is you must try to speak word for word what you think was said. Whereas with the bardic tradition, it is you must communicate the meaning of what was taught, what was spoken. And that is to produce slightly different words, which then get, interpreted differently over time.
Very much simplifying it. Yours is so much better. Yours is so much more accurate.
That is how the dynamic between your mind and my mind work. I continue.
I just make everything entertaining, childlike to myself because I never grew up from Disney.
And I make everything entertaining and also not Disney.
Yes. But the wall that separates them is going from page 192 is that it's impermeable. No god is a hero and no hero becomes a god. Except, of course, Hercules, right? Who else do y'all think? I'm not even showing that. Oh, no, I am showing it on here. But, if you have... It's fucking Dionysus. Like, I can't. This dude. I love Dionysus because for every fucking rule, Dionysus is the exception. It's ridiculous. The number of...
He is.
He's in every...
most glorious. One of the most divine. Yes.
Another reason why we can never get through a chapter without juxtaposition is because Dionysus. That should be an emoji because...
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
no, like a clip. Because Dionysus.
Yeah, right there. There's your
However,
sound alert.
Right. However, gods and heroes together subscribe the sacral sphere. The heroes are also part of those who are sacred, right? The hero cult, like the cult of the dead, is conceived as the chthonic counterpart to the worship of the gods. So heroes are not obviously part of the Oronics deities, and they're not deities, and they can't become deities except for these two schmucks because they always want to break the rules. We love them dearly. Part of the worship for them was like
subversion.
What?
It is simply called subversion. It is a much more pleasant concept than breaking rules. It's just legal subversion.
But they were worshipped with things like the chthonic deities, blood sacrifices, food offerings, libations. They were all done in the same way. A bath was often found, weeping and lamentation. So they were worshipped in the same way. And I think that's what they're going after here in that sense. It's right there. Let me see here. So hero cults, this is one of the things we were talking about before. A hero cult is generally confined to a specific locality. He acts... I just couldn't get over this. I thought it was so funny. He acts in the vicinity of his grave for his family, group, or city. The bond with a hero is dissolved by distance. And I'm like, this feels like something out of a TV show, an anime. Like, that was my first thought. It's like their energy radius. And it makes so much sense, but it, at the same time, I don't know why I never thought of it. So, here's the section we're talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting. You almost can map it to how modern influencers on the internet like to think of influence.
Oh my god, I love you so
The
much.
influence sphere goes out a certain.
That's it.
Well, I know you do.
Oh,
that's
that's it. We need to have them as influencers. We need to, someone in the art section of the Discord, please draw this. We need the deities drawn as modern influencers. Hercules would be a gym bro.
They're centers of narrative power. That is how I view all of these sorts of characters in the narrative.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
Heroes.
Yeah. You are 100% right. That totally makes sense. It is a great analogy.
You're very welcome.
I'm hoping I clipped that and it actually got all of that. I don't think it did, but we'll see. But yeah, that's a really great analogy. And yeah, I don't know why I never thought of it that way. Like, it totally makes sense. But when I read it, I was just laughing. Just for like a good couple minutes. Obviously, I still think it's funny. So I like this bit right here. This is one of the things I pulled out as a really great as a really great quote. But it's better not to pay too much attention to one's neighbors, but to hold one's own tradition. The hero cult is the center of local group identity. Blah, blah, blah. This line, I mean, the grass is greener on the other side. Like, I want it on a quote. Like, I want a quote on a t-shirt. That's what I want it on. And then actually, if you're in the notes, you can see it. There's a quote from page, I think, 291. Themistocles could say, "It is not we who have achieved this, but gods and heroes." So, and this is in relation to, there's not just, we have a new segment here, right? We have that new slice. And I want that on a t-shirt too. It's a great quote. I just put it in here so I would remember to tell you guys some really nice bits here. That really good quotes to the section. So the roster of heroes, this was interesting. The roster of heroes right here at the bottom, again in contrast to the gods, going on those quotes, is never given fixed and final form. Great gods are no longer born, but heroes can always raise up from an army of the dead, whenever a family, cult, association, or city passes an appropriate blah, blah, blah. Anyway, there are no more gods, but heroes are still made and talked about as the time goes along, right? We have several at different time periods. And it talks later about how... It talks later about took the radical step. Nope. It talks about later, they only a long time later, because of something, do they actually describe the heroes in great detail. And so until then, it just, as you were saying, got adapted to maybe the local area, or whatever it needed to be adapted to. Here's one. It's right here. This is one of the next things I want to talk about. When whatever in the year 510 took the thoroughly rational radical step of abolishing the old kindred associations in Athens and replacing them with 10 artificially created tribes or whatever. They had to be named after a hero. Thank you. Say it again.
Pulai.
that. Those are the 10 artificially created tribes. That was how the marketplace was set up, because when they were establishing new cities, the founders, like were often, you can see up here in this section, were often buried in the marketplace. And it symbolizes that new beginning, that start of something great, right? So, and that's another way heroes were also honored. 20. I'm looking at my notes. Sorry. 24. Here it is. Of all these things that may flow from the wrath of a powerful dead man, who must be appeased. Here we go. A hero. This is also talking about the negative association of that. A hero may physically encounter a person, a terrifying, dangerous experience, whatever. And this is where the idea of ghosts come up, and they get caught up in like the hero cults. Also, similarly, a snake, a terrifying creature, it may also be taken as a manifestation of a hero, and power that is felt indirectly when the earth ceases to bear fruit, when plague affects man, when you get a cold, when you blow your tire on the highway, you get a sign, and you get a sign, and you get a sign. So anything bad generally happening was associated with like, something's up. We pissed somebody off, and therefore they must be appeased. So I just thought that was so funny. All I thought was like, everything's a sign.
Everything can be a sign.
It can be.
The signs are simply the explanations for things that... It is the meaning in the meaningless, as I like to say.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. That's really cool. Because I understand what you mean. Okay, let me see here. So, above all, heroes were assisted their tribe, their city, or their country in battle. This is like who can become like a hero, right? This is the story. They go on to tell the story of Ajax and his brother. But I want to focus on like who can become a hero. So it goes on the next page. So divine parentage is not a necessity. However, a lot of them are generally regarded as heroes. Because they have good PR. Even a criminal man, it says here, even a criminal who has met us with a spectacular end may become a hero. Such as an enemy of the state may become its champion or protector after his death. But there are also heroes whose wrath is implicable, and who wreak havoc until some way is found to get rid of them, right? So, talking about ghosts and stuff that we were just mentioning. I thought that was really interesting. It was like, again, we we get both. We get it all. It's the good and the bad. We have good ghosts and bad ghosts. Good heroes and bad heroes. I mean, I guess it just depends which side you're on. Good heroes and bad heroes, right? Heroes are not often imagined as like old and gray and ugly or things like that. I think that's very rude. But as a full force and the perfection of youth in their prime, right? And there are even like child heroes in some stories. That's a good point. Elaborate. Sin, you want to elaborate? Because they're all talking about like heroes. They keep mentioning like our well-knowns, like Hercules and I don't remember if I fucked the rest of the ones. I just remember Hercules because we just talked a lot about him.
Well, While my familiarity with the specifics of the definitions is not so great, we have to remember, as was said by Astrid in chat, that like we are dealing with essentially a class of spirit, of person, of character. We're not dealing with, in modern day we say hero as in someone who does a certain thing, but like a hero, this is like a watered down version of the praise that heroes of the old were given. The specifics Astrid might reflect on, or I might have to become a bit of a better Hellenist to find out. Listen, druids like me are not talking heroes, but continue.
That's true. And also, yeah, how these people were regarded and what it took to get to become a hero is vastly different than what we deem as heroes, or can be. A lot. We always. Sorry, my Alexa went on. No. I just yelled at her. Sorry. So yes, that.
You're allowed.
Oh my god, the other day she kept playing music like randomly, and I was like, I'm not saying I don't like the music, but it's kind of creepy that it's out of the blue like that. Like Ajax and stuff. That was the other heroes. I was trying to remember another hero's name. Goodness gracious. But it is something of an extraordinary quality, though, as they say in here, that makes the hero. Something unpredictable and uncanny is left behind and is always present. Harun is always passed in silence. So in the comedy entitled The Heroes, Aristophanes, here we go, Aristophanes, I said it right, makes the hero appear as a chorus. They come to the upper world to see that everything is in order. Therefore be on your guard, you men, and honor the heroes, for we are the dispensers of evil and good, and we look up at the unjust and the thieves and robbers. Then follows the grotesque madness of all this stuff. Yeah. So, which the heroes put on the evildoers, right? And yeah, anyway, so they also mention that they're always like in their youth and at their prime, right? But there are also child heroes, and then there are frequently children who die are then heroicized. Yes. So I think that's a great thing to. I was just that. Like, I just stopped reading at that point. And I was like, that is the sweetest fucking thing I've ever heard. Because, I mean, what better way and what nicer thing to do for the family, So, yeah, it just really stopped me. So that is actually, that sad bit is where we get to end. Because then we go into section 5, which I overread on. But, I guess open floor for comments. I just thought that was the sweetest fucking thing. It was just wonderful. So, I just went through all my
I might
icons.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only comment I might have is we can think of all of these various different classes of characters when they talk about they're not considered old and wrinkled, and they're young and fresh. These are characters. They are separated from the physical structures that manifested the actions which produced the storytelling aspects of their existence, right? Like, if I do something heroic, that's fine, but it's not my body that gets heroicized. It's I, the character who did the thing, that gets heroicized. So in that sense, the youth, the vigor, all of that is simply a characteristic of what we glorify as, the ideal. In the same way that you have someone like Dionysos, we have someone like Hebe. These are figures of youth, and they're often depicted as youthful because there's a certain quality to youthfulness that represents the power they give in story, in myth. So that's the only reason I think that we should when we think, oh, well, why are they doing that? Why are they not depicting them as the old, oh, I died in 2,000 years ago? No, yeah, okay, because that's not what we're glorifying. We're not glorifying that you died. We're glorifying the means by which the character we have built around what we consider to be you died in honor of, right? And so, yeah.
100%. And of course, it's the Instagram reel of the ancient Greeks, right? It's we're only gonna put our best foot forward. So
And for good reason.
yeah, and I mean, if you're telling stories to kids, although it wasn't only kids, but you would be like, oh, they were so amazing and cool, and or if someone heard that someone did something amazing, like him, of course people are gonna highlight it and be like, oh, they were so strong, they were so, I don't know, young, whatever. It's the highlight reel. It's the best of the best, right? They're
Yes, but it's not so much the best; it's the most characteristic. And the reason I'm emphasizing that is there are deities that are depicted as older and wizened and thus wizened. You have the sort of the elders, right? You have these old, gray, wrinkled gods and spirits, and they
best
yeah.
it can. So when I say best of the best, I mean the best of my, for example, Instagram reel is not the same as the best for your Instagram reel. So it's the best for that person. Yes, that's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah, for what fits the narrative of like the old wise man or the young warrior. It's like you're not going to put someone in with wrinkles and their whole body's wearing down. You're not going to give them a sword and say go fight in the battle.
Exactly.
That's just absurd,
exactly.
So.
Yes. But if you need someone who is more strategic, they tend to be seen as older. We don't view the philosophers in their prime riding on a chariot or whatever. We think about them as older people in a freaking library with a scroll and a quill or some shit, right? That's how we view them. I don't think anyone has probably imagined what they would look like in their prime years for literally ever since they existed.
And we do that today. If you get all those articles fed to you, like, oh, well, what did this president look like, or what did this, this rock star look like when they were like 10 years old, right? All of a sudden it's like, whoa, and it's this weird, mind-blowing, like, wait a minute, I'm not connecting the character in my mind to that. So yeah.
What was the last time we heard of a picture of Britney, or we saw a picture of Britney Spears when she was 5? Nope. A lot of people remember the last picture of Britney Spears not being great. But yeah, it's what gets fed to you.
Yeah, we probably won't remember the pictures of Britney Spears. Once she turns 80 years old, we'll still remember the, like, 18
But you know who we do?
Britney
You know who we
Spears.
do? Fucking Betty White. And
There
she
you
will
go.
forever be
There you go.
remembered
Good
as
example.
this hilarious older woman, right? Even though she did acting way when she was younger. So, and she was sweet as pie. So good. This is a much happier ending. I love where this went.
What, old people dying? No. Goodness gracious, V. Oh my gosh.
Wait.
Leave it to V to say the happy note is talking about all those people who died. Okay.
I just want to let you know I clipped that. Congratulations. This is on the internet now forever.
Good. Fantastic. Listen, at this point, most of the top clips on this channel is about me. I'm fine with it. I appreciate
That's just because since we've met, we've been really good server admins. Oh yeah, we have clips. Oh shoot, Astrid, you gotta go check.
Yes.
We have clips. So many. I discovered the clip button.
There is a clip about... Right? There's a clip about we make fun of the asexual squirrel. There's all kinds of craziness in the clip section.
And it's not my fault. What you don't know, as a grown ass lady, I was not there for the education of that. Not my problem.
That is a story for another stream. But this one is about glorifying dead people. Remember that.
That's right.
That's how we end this.
I'm clipping that. I clipped that just so
Clip it
Ren,
all, clip
just
it
so Ren
all.
can go and Ren can go and put that at the beginning of this stream. And I'm saying it. I'm gonna message.
Oh, Ren can. Do not worry. Ren cannot get enough of clipping me. Okay, let's just be real.
That's what she said. Okay. Good night, folks.
Exactly.
Fare
Fare thee well, folks.
Sin, stay on for a second.
I
Let
will stay
me.
on as long as you wish.
All right, so you guys gotta say bye first. So Sin, say bye.
Bye. No, farewell, all ye guests who come to gather knowledge with us today on this delightful gathering of the minds of those who see. I will just keep going on forever with this. Anyway,
Will you narrate
see
my
ya,
life?
Have fun.
All right. You're not on stream anymore, Sin. I'm sorry I cut the feed, so I gotta say bye first. I gotta do the end roll. All right, everyone. Well, actually, I said I have to do the end roll, and my mic is mute. So, we're ending now, and I just want to remind everyone to check the Discord because we have a bunch of events coming up, and we love volunteers and helping hands. And we also have tons of positions if you would like to play a more regular role in the community. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Another reminder, we do have our Minecraft stream tomorrow. Join us. It's going to be, our third stream? Since the I don't remember, but I can't wait. We're gonna have to go talk and see us in the gamer section because we gotta figure out a topic. I hope everyone has a wonderful night. May the gods bless you on your journeys.